I don't love the person that I was. Like I love the person that I am. Like I love that if AJ left today, yes, my lifestyle would change, but not that much. Like I have my own life and my own money and my own, like completely my own identity. Like, and I learned those lessons young, like, and it was really enforced in me. Like, I'm just a bit cynical, and maybe people say that's like pessimistic, but I just think I'm a bit real. Like,
I think it's realism. Yeah.
I've never really like divorce rates of athletes are like 75%, like higher than 50%. Like,
wow.
You need to like be aware of that. And like, not that you need to go into this, like we're going to get divorced, but like, no, I should probably protect myself. And I watch so many of my friends, another friend who's not even an athlete. She was just in a situation with a wealthy man. And I had told her a few times, and our relationship got into like a really, cause I learned my lessons young, and I had tried to instill in her, I was like, this guy is not going to protect you. He's making you sign things. And like, he's making it very clear that if you guys break up, he's protected. And like, by not working for 2 years, like you're not protecting yourself. And like, I'm just cynical. I just want to be in a position if we ever broke up, like I'm normal.
I don't think that it's being cynical, but I think it's actually just not being naive. There's a difference. Cynical, I feel, insinuates that you're constantly looking at things from a negative lens. I don't think you're looking at it negatively. You're just not living in like the clouds. You know, you're saying, okay, this is a very real possibility, but then it's also very real that we're gonna live until we're 90 in rocking chairs and have a beautiful family and be together forever. But like, what am I gonna do if option A happens versus what am I gonna do if option B happens?
Because you need to control the other person. Just because you want to stay in it and you're like, I'm gonna stay for life, doesn't mean you don't need to be prepared for what they're gonna do.
Right. Like, and I'm not trying to put negative ideas in your head now that we're talking about this, but like, is it ever something that crosses your mind? Like, is he going to have some sort of identity crisis? You've been going through this journey trying to figure out who 100%. Taylor is and what she wants. When hockey's over for him, what is he going to do?
I completely
And then
agree.
Is that going to change the dynamic of your relationship?
I'm sure it will in some sense. You know, how can it not?
Right.
How can it? I feel like that'd be crazy to think that it wouldn't, but I hope it changes for the right way. I mean, I have pushed AJ to stay like at BU, and he's finishing up his degree because he also can't be multifaceted. And I don't want to speak for him, but I watched his mental health suffer when he was just focusing on hockey and he wasn't doing other things like other hobbies and school. And I think it works for men and women about like pushing our friends and people to not be just moms or not be. But you also don't want to be judgmental. If they're happy, like, who are we to say, like, well, like, but what happens if he leaves you? Like,
yeah,
you know, because they're really fulfilled being a mom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is the hardest job.
Beautiful, beautiful thing. But that's what I'm saying. Not even if we take the idea of their marriage not lasting out of the picture, you know, and hopefully they have a long lasting, really happy, successful marriage. That's great. But regardless of that, your kid's gonna turn 18 one day and then have a life of their own. So
and then you see parents go through these huge. I know you just need to be multifaceted. I think is the point.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like what you're going through now and what you're figuring out for yourself, he's gonna end up doing at one point when you know the career starts. Maybe he gets I was gonna say maybe he gets injured, but like just when he gets old, like you know what I mean. Like whatever 100%. Happens, and it's like it's done.
I mean, his career being done at 35 is very young. Like that's young. We're young.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, some athletes play till 37 and like but like even 35 is like a stretch. We're more like 33, 34. Like that's a baby. Most people in the real world barely have their careers figured out then. You know what I mean?
So it's just him finishing his degree and doing those things now so that he's prepared when that time comes, and he can be husband, he can be maybe dad if you guys want kids, I don't know or not, but like he can be both of those things, but then also maybe use his degree, or maybe he gets into sports in a different capacity, but it's not just going to be like, okay, I don't go to practice today, I don't have games, what do I do now? And I like that he will have you to kind of lean on as he goes through that experience. And again, having that foundation beforehand, I think really makes a huge, huge difference. But what I'm curious about, and tell me if this is like actually just becoming redundant, but like you've had so many major things, moving to a different country. You know, you've just turned 30, which is a huge milestone. You have this very unique position as a fiance to a professional athlete. Like, what, I know you're saying you've done the work, but like, what did you do exactly to help find Taylor, figure out who Taylor is? And is it just trying different things? Is it like just not getting too comfortable and content in a space of constant one thing or another? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like literally all of those things. I think being real with myself, that the constant, I think realizing multifaceted life is the way to go. Having a career is definitely for me right now until I'm a mom, I have to. And I think exercise, learning that I need to exercise pretty much every day to keep my anxiety like at bay. Like there's so many things. Like I need to stop drinking. Whenever I feel myself like spiraling, I look back at that week and I'm like, I ate like shit. I drank twice that week. I slept like shit. And it just all adds up.
Yeah.
It's just like all the corny things that you, like if you do like a little bit of meditation and you go to like a cold plunge and it actually works. It's so sad. Like all this stuff that we're like, no, it's just like all the stuff we make fun of and we're just like, why do those people, like we at 20, we're like, look at those 30-year-olds like meditating and like doing cold plunges, and you realize like at some point I just don't want to feel like shit.
Yeah. It comes quick and it hits you.
I feel like at 26 and 27, I was like, I cannot function like this anymore, because we were still living in the like party lifestyle still at that point. And it was probably around 26, 27 where I was like, I can't feel like this again. I can't wake up another day being like, why is my anxiety like, and a lot of it had to do with alcohol. And it wasn't like we were like morning drinkers. Like I'm just talking like a normal, like drinking 3 or 4 times a week. When we live in the city, it's like, let's grab drinks after your work on Thursday. And then we would party hard on Saturday. And it's just like, you're exhausted.
It's just like a recreational activity. And it's just like, why not? And it just adds up
so much.
And you can't bounce back and recover from the hangovers like you could years back. I know I can't. Like if I have one night, I'm out for the count the next day.